For tuning in, everybody. We're gonna do a little weekly review. This was a really solid week for me. Improved on a lot of areas in my trading, and just feel like I have some stuff to share about this week. Because if we look at the price action, a lot of people would say this is ugly. This is terrible price action. We moved 40, or we had a 40-point range for the last three sessions. I mean, that is pretty. So, maybe that's tough to trade, but I'm ending the week up, about halfway through my instant funded account actually. And, it was a good week for me. So I just want to go over all of this because I found some really clean moves. Starting with Monday, two trades, one break even, one winner. Wow, $100 of commissions. That's crazy. These Tradeify accounts, dang, the commissions are taxed on there. I'm like just looking at that, like, geez, $100 just in commissions. Okay. Well, I took a short and locked the stop at break even. I was looking for a retest of previous day VWAP, looking for a small sweep of this level, just kind of playing back the 6404 key level I have. This is just a discretionary level I found. Um, I'm just making a note to myself. I'm just gonna trade one mini um, instead of trying to do this. So instead of trying to do like the 8 to 10 micros, like I'll just trade the mini. Um, okay. Then trade two, I just ended up flipping along and just got a few points out of it. I was trading into the VWAP. It did end up going higher. Um, not definitely not my best trading, but this was when I do look back on it, it was just quick flip flop, and I was done trading in the first 30 minutes of the open. So see, I dug myself out of the draw. Oh, that's right. I was in the drawdown. I was in a huge drawdown. And because okay, another thing, this is the account so far. This was the first few weeks, and then this is this week. Basically, you can see the count's looking great. Just this one big red day just caused such a problem, and that's just the overarching problem and consistent problem. I just repeat or mistake habit, however you want to call it. So really working on that. This time it was a pretty big improvement that I did not lose the account just because I hit the full max loss day. So really cool. Glad about that. Ended up taking this little scalp off previous day VWAP and trend. Really clean trade. Um, Basically just finding all I'm doing is just finding levels and taking the setup like the way that this held previous day VWAP textbook. Absolutely textbook. Let's look at Wednesday here. Wednesday, Wednesday, I took the short in the afternoon. I didn't let missing this whole entire move shake me out of being in the market. I'm really trying to stay focused on just taking my best trades early at market open and catching that initial leg out of the opening range because I don't want to be trading that long. I'd rather take one or two larger trades. Really, this week, just one trade. If I'm hitting a one trade winner, I'm kind of just done for the day because it's already a little bit more than than half of my max profit. So there's that. That's on Wednesday. Thursday was a no trade day. Didn't look at with my all my available tools. I should have been in this trade long. However, I was sitting looking for shorts this whole time. Um, Classic. Look at this is a great failed breakdown. All these levels are here to be swept. News sweeps and then a squeeze back to the highs. So really textbook setup on the 15-minute chart. However, I did not capitalize. And then just a long trade on Friday. I ended up closing it here. It wasn't even that. It was just a really mentally taxing day for everybody in the BSC. So close it out. I'm up solid this week, and I can't really complain about anything except for these commissions. I'm gonna. Why was it on Monday? Oh, because I swang more account more because commissions 39,019, and this was 7 points. Yeah, okay. So interesting. These commissions, I'm like so confused why these commissions are so high. Volume 50. Just a lot more volume. All right. Just because it was a few trades, but and larger size. Okay. Yeah. But let's look at a little game plan going into next week, because the way I read this, we just set a new all-time high, and we have a pretty clear low here at 50 or at 64.61. So I would not be surprised if within this next week we come back into this 6400 zone, between 6400 and 6461, create some kind of space here, maybe touch the month to date VWAP at 6400 basically, and then find our next leg up. But we are in a very healthy bull trend right now. Weekly candles closing at all-time highs, and there's really nothing you can do other than buy this thing. But last thing I wanted to add, really interesting note on my something I did with ChatGPT is only 54% of trading days close higher in the S&P 500 futures. So as a day trader, you can expect to short it pretty consistently as much as longing it if you don't want to be going counter the 1 minute day trading trend. Thought that was pretty interesting. But yeah, we'll sign off here. Be sure to check out the Behind the Charts podcast, having a lot of great conversations on there. We got a really great episode coming up this week with Austin. So yeah, be sure to check that out on YouTube, Behind the Charts podcast. Cheers, everybody, and have a great rest of your weekend.